Hello, welcome to another conversation on human skills for personal and professional growth. My name is Nana Yebua. Before we begin, one may ask yourself, what is human skills? So, human skills are the skills that is expected everybody to have. Human skills is also known as soft skills. And the basics of human skills is please and thank you. So let's get into a deeper conversation on how to utilize human skills, the key components of human skills that you need, and how to apply it to your personal life. As I said earlier, my name is Nana Yayabua. Yes, I do host the podcast Nana Yayabua podcast. I'm also a registered nurse by profession with a degree in education. That has led me into this conversation on human skills because as the years go by, I realize the importance of human skills, how we are losing it, and most especially amongst us professionals and also within the community, the younger generation is also losing these human skills because we are not teaching them what we expect to be automatically taught at home. So, the webinar agenda for this conversation is that we are going to look at what human skills or soft skills are, importance in career and personal life, key human skills to learn, and strategies to develop these human skills. The learning outcomes at the end of this conversation, as I said earlier, is to identify and define key human skills, to demonstrate effective communication skills, apply active listening techniques, analyze personal emotional triggers and behaviors that prevents us from learning, from implementing and applying human skills, adapt to various scenarios, collaborate with others in a team-based activities or an environment, resolve conflict constructively because as human beings, we are always in a conflicting situation, whether we like it or not. The key is how do we resolve some of these? Develop a personal growth plan, demonstrate ethical decision making and personal integrity, reflect on and evaluate the impact of human skills in our lives. So, we are going to look at how to enhance workplace efficiency and teamwork, how to improve communication and relationships, boost leadership, foster personal growth and confidence, increase employability and career advancement opportunities. So, these are part of the reasons why human skills are important. The first skill we are going to look at is honesty. Honesty, sorry, I'm about to sneeze. Honesty begins with being truthful, sincere, and free from deceit. It also includes transparency and admitting to our mistakes, building trust, integrity, and credibility. So, honesty begins at home, how we are trained. If you don't get that training, that means you and I need to do that self work. So, we begin with ourselves, being truthful to ourselves, being sincere with ourselves, because we need to remember if you're dishonest to somebody, it means you're not being honest to yourself. So, what are some of the examples of, being showing honesty? Includes number one, admitting mistakes rather than blaming others. Number two, returning lost items and or acknowledging overpayments. Number three, telling the truth even when it is uncomfortable. And it is a practice. We need to practice that. We need to practice giving credit to others for their contributions within working in teams. We need to practice being transparent about pricing, most especially businesses and delays or issues. So, honesty in personal life looks at building trust, having peace of mind, and creating moral courage. In professional life, it enhances collaboration and communication in that we are able to work together. And when we speak amongst each other, we speak clearly and with dignity and respect. Within this, it also helps provide constructive feedback and improve performances in the workplace. And so, one of the best tips is to practice self honesty, and this show your strength and areas to improve. We are all not cut out for that, so the more we practice, the more we get better at it. The previous slide did comment on businesses and growth. Customer loyalty. We all need customer loyalty. It doesn't matter your business. So, honesty helps with customer loyalty, helps business retain clients longer. It also helps with brand reputation, which helps with trust. It builds a positive brand image. Employee retention, transparent cultures reduce turnover. And also, the takeaway is that honesty is the long term business strategy. It doesn't stop, you continue. The next we're going to talk about is empathy. What is empathy? Empathy involves showing concern, understanding, and compassion for people. It is a practice that we all need to. How do you show empathy? It is understanding that empathy is the foundation to showing kindness to people. It involves listening, being aware of your own biases, being open and supportive. Even if you're not supportive, be open to listening, showing vulnerability, and acknowledging others' pain. The next skill one needs is communication. We all talk, but do we really communicate? So, communication, to understand what communication it involves sharing and interpreting ideas between two individuals, either one on one or in a group setting. So to be have effective communication is to be able to listen to each person. Importance of communication in professional life also enhances teamwork and collaboration, prevents costly misunderstanding because you're going to share, you're going to create an environment of understanding. And it builds trust between employees, clients, and the leadership, which in turn helps improve clarity in goals and expectations. So, importance of communication in professional life, like I alluded earlier, enhances teamwork and collaboration, prevents costly misunderstanding, builds trust between employees, clients, and leadership, and improve clarity in goals and expectations. Developing communication skills requires you to engage in active listening. Therefore, if a person is talking, you keep quiet, you listen. Concentrate, respond, and remember. Avoid interrupting. Show understanding. And if you do not understand, Use clarifying language to understand. For you, clear, concise speaking. Use simple, direct language and avoid jargon use. Not everybody understands jargon. Not everybody has complexity in conversations. We need simple. If you are able to have conversations with a grade six student or a 6 year old to understand, that is what you need. Even though there may be adults, break it down. Communication skills also involve nonverbal communication, which is eye contact, posture, tone. Match your words with actions. And when you are giving feedback, give respectful and constructive feedback. Using communication skills in the workplace enhances team collaborations and helps you to share ideas respectfully. You use these communication skills effectively as a leader to motivate with a clear vision and also to listen to employee concerns. Teamwork. Teamwork is one of the human skills that are needed. Remember, as human beings, we live in communities, societies. We do not live alone. You may live alone in your house, but you also work if you do work. If you don't work, you still need other people around you to make things work. So, being able to work in a respectful, collaborative, and dignified group, that is the key in teamwork. So, teamwork, therefore, is how defined by a group of people working together seamlessly to achieve a common goal. Within businesses and institutions, we push for teamwork because we know that any single individual cannot and does not make anything function. Teamwork is like an engine, all parts working smoothly together enhances and creates systems working. When we talk about adaptability, adaptability is able to change, to manage, to make systems work together properly. So, when in the sense of adaptability, changing to different situations without panicking, because many of us do not like change, but change is inevitable. And so when it comes, we need to be able to adapt to it. Adaptable people tend to be proactive. They tend to be early adopters to change. They tend to be problem solvers. So keep that in mind that when you develop the skill of adaptability, you also develop skills to being able to say stay comfortable when there is change, being able to navigate changes, to be able to have that mindset that says that okay, these changes are here, how do I navigate them? How do I learn? What are the things that I need to learn to enhance my skills? What are some of the problems that develop with these new technologies? AI, for instance, AI is here. We need to be adaptable to these new changes, which means we need to learn, right? The next human skill that we all need, which is very critical, perhaps I should have put it right on top, is self awareness. This involves knowing your strengths and knowing your limitations. We all have strengths, we all have limitations. Having knowing them all helps us navigate the systems, helps us make judgment calls that are positive, and also helps us to be able to navigate, be able to adapt as easily as possible. So, having a good knowledge and judgment about yourself builds your inner strength and resilience. These are some of the conversations I will have earlier in a different slide about building, resilience, what resilience is, and building resilience. Understanding your own biases. What are biases? Biases are preconceived notions of certain views or ideas. So if we do understand our own biases, then we do not project these biases onto other people. You keep them in check. Identifying your emotions and how they will impact your team and patients. So for instance, if you're a person who gets upset or triggered very easily, you got to be you got to identify what are your triggers and work on those. How you mitigate them, how you take a step back, breathe before you say anything. All these are key to identifying self-awareness in your life. Problem solving. There are so many issues within people, amongst people, in communities, in settings, at work. A key human skill to have is being able to problem shoot and problem solve. How do you problem shoot? How do you problem solve? For instance, you get a client coming in very, upset about something that they bought, or about one of the workers you have not helping them or assisting them in something. How do you go about solving their problem? You listen, first of all. You identify where the issue is coming from, whether it is the client's issue or whether it is your institutional issue. Well, after that, then you help them navigate the challenges. And these do occur all around, whether in school, whether in relationships and personal growth. So, problem solving is key to identifying and key to providing solutions to people across the board. Thus, it involves identifying what's wrong, thinking through the possible solutions, and choosing the best way to act. So, if you are somebody who is a problem solver in your life, it helps you build resilience, it helps you build confidence, and it helps in your decision making skills. That also helps people to come to you to help them problem solve or problem shoot what the issues are. Flexibility is a key human skill that we all need. And flexibility goes hand in hand in adaptability. So, any person who has flexibility, who is able to, for lack of a better word, change with the tide, is able to adapt. And that willingness to adjust to different circumstances or different places help us as human beings with adaptability. We did talk about honesty and accountability earlier. Accountability is a human skill which plays itself across the board. So, accountability means taking responsibility for your actions, decisions, and commitment. So, which means that if you say you are going to do something and you didn't do it, or if you do something and the end result is not what is expected and there is an error, take accountability. take accountability for that. It is very important in life to take accountability and be honest with yourself. Now, last but not least, let's go to how do we as people develop human skills? To develop human skills means that we need to practice active listening and effective communication. Active listening means listening without talking back, listening to understand the other person, and when it is time to provide feedback, use language that is supportive, that enhances, that is clarifying, and free of jargons. The second way to develop soft skills or human skills is to seek feedback and learn from experiences. Ask your colleagues, what do they think? Did you do it right or you did it wrong? What could you have done better? And if you don't have that feedback from colleagues, you need to learn from your experiences through self reflection. When you step back and you analyze, what did you do right? What could have been done better? Did you lose your temper? Were you resilient? Were you honest with yourself? Were you honest with the other person? To develop human skills also, you need to be able to be part of a team. Engage in team projects and collaboration, because that is where you also develop your self leadership and leadership potentials. That is where you also learn to engage with other people, whether good or bad, and where you learn whether you're a collaborator or you're a you like to work alone. You can also attend workshops, webinars such as these, and training sessions. Cultivate self awareness and adaptability. This too will help you anywhere and everywhere in life. Summary and final thoughts. Communication is key in personal and professional life. If you're able to communicate, whether verbally through such PowerPoint presentations as these, it will help you along a long way. It builds trust, resolves conflicts, and also fosters growth. Always improve. Listen, speak clearly, and stay open to learning. Last but not the least, if you want to contact me, my email is philjo@live.ca, website www.philjomultimedia.com. You can find me on Instagram at Nana Yayabwa Show or LinkedIn at Nana Yayabwa. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being part of this group.